Hello, everybody. Welcome to my weekly meltdowns coverage of Big Brother Canada Season 10. We had a little bit of a slow week, but I think there's still plenty of stuff to talk about here. So I'm excited to break it all down. Allison is finishing her cracker, so she is chewing away. But we have Adrian with us. How are you doing, Adrian?
I am doing pretty good. Hopefully tonight I won't waste any power that was given to me tonight. So happy to be with you guys.
Yes, yes. We will go into all of that, including why I think Jacey-Lynne had a huge missed opportunity here. That's a bummer, but Jacey-Lynne's gonna Jacey-Lynne. You know what can we expect here? So I'm gonna go ahead and bring up the chart of who is left after tonight. So yes, of course we said goodbye to Moose tonight. Very sad to see him go. I was like a little meh about him as a player, but I have to say, like, after seeing him campaign so well tonight, I kind of wish he stayed over summer. And I if they do an All Stars in a few years, like, I think Moose could turn into a really powerful, strong player with just a little more life experience under his belt. But yep. Are you good, Elsa?
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Can I just say something? When I watch, it doesn't happen with U.S. Big Brother, but for some reason, when I watch Big Brother Canada, I'm all kinds of hungry. They got Wendy's, they got chips and dip and ice cream, and all I can think is, I'm not hungry, but I'm hungry. Like, I'm texting my husband over there. Are you gonna go to Sonic and get me the yellow cake batter frosty, or what we do?
Yum.
Yeah, so.
So basically, how you look at food is how Josh looked at the feast that they got tonight, right?
Yes, it was.
So to recap the week, just to rewind to a week ago. So a week ago, we thought we were doing the buzzkill competition, and thank goodness we did our recap a few days late because they had some technical difficulties and had to redo the HOH comp. So they did like a before and after quiz. And I gotta say, Gino, we talk about him as like a physical threat in Big Brother, but this is his second quiz HOH that he has won. So don't sleep on
he can't do math.
This is what yeah, exactly. He can't do math, but he can tell you before or after for anything in math.
Right. Because there's 25 hours in the day.
Yes. According to Gino, there is 25
there's
hours.
There's 4 days in the week and 25 hours. Okay.
So basically what Gino wanted to do, he said to Jacey-Lynne, he was like, listen, I'm tired of this thing back and forth with me and Marty in terms of, like, are we targeting each other? Are we working together? Like, we're just going to backdoor him this week, and it's going to be a pretty easy, pretty slow week. The veto has been used every single week up until this point. So I think it's safe to say, let's just nominate 2 pawns and hope the veto goes our way and somebody wins the veto and takes one of them off. So he puts up Moose and Summer as the pawns. This is the first time Summer's touching the block, so now Helena is officially the only person left in the game that has not been nominated, which is very, very interesting.
Yes.
So we draw players for the veto competition. I think everybody is playing except for Marty. I think so. Like, it was the best draw that it could have been. Like, basically everybody except for Helena playing the veto would have used the veto to take out Marty. But Helena, she surprised us all, and she won a pretty tough veto, I will say, as well.
Yeah.
It was I think you had to, like, carry like a pump that Allison had some thoughts on.
I can't. You guys know where my brain goes when they're sitting there doing the thing. I'm like, okay, it's dirty. It looked dirty.
And Helena ended up winning the veto. So, of course, like, Helena, Kevin, and Josh, like, they've been really trying to weaponize and pocket Marty as, like, a big giant meat shield as a target in front of them. So Helena, she stuck to her guns and she did not use the veto. So it kind of puts a wrench in Gino and Jacey-Lynne's plans. Summer and Moose did remain on the block after that. But another Big Brother Canada twist. Big Brother Canada 10 has been calling back to lots of old seasons and old comps and old twists and stuff like that. So they kind of took a page from BB Can 2, where they introduced a secret power of veto that Jacey-Lynne won. The caveat is that it was only usable this week, and she wasn't able to tell anybody that she won the veto. It had to remain anonymous until like it was used or not used. Like basically after it expired, you can tell people. And this is where I think Jacey-Lynne went wrong. So she ended up not using it because she just wanted to just kind of like make sure that Gino knew that like she could be trusted and like stick with the plan, all of that stuff. However, like Jacey-Lynne and Summer is like two pieces of sandpaper rubbing up against each other. Like they are just like not clicking on any level. We saw tonight that Summer and Gino's flirtmance is like reaching like an awkward level that all the other guys are like encouraging Jacey-Lynne to be like, watch out for your man, like that type of thing.
Yeah, and Jacey-Lynne's like, I'm not jealous, but I will distance myself.
Yeah.
I will. Don't make me do it, but I will. But I'm not jealous, but I will.
And so here's the thing, like they could have gotten Marty out. Like Jacey-Lynne could have taken off Moose or Summer, probably Moose. So she could have done that. Or what she could have done is, so back in Big Brother Canada 2, like Netta, she won like a secret power. She wasn't like, she had to go into the diary room. They told her like, it's like an instant eviction. You're not allowed to say anything, but go ahead and make your nominations. So she went out and said, I have received information that has led me to know that I cannot trust this specific person. And so therefore I'm nominating and targeting this person. Like if Jacey-Lynne just went out there and said, I have received some information that confirms that I cannot trust Summer. So therefore I'm taking Moose off the block and in hopes that Gino will put up Betty as a pawn and Summer goes home. Like there's nothing like saying that you can't say something like that in a veto or HOH nomination speech, all of that stuff. Yeah. And that kind of puts Gino in a spot publicly in front of everybody that like, yeah, I need to listen to my showmance and let her take the reins on this one for once. So he could have put up Betty could have been the replacement nominee, and it would have ensured that Summer goes home. And I think that would have been like phenomenal for Jacey-Lynne's game if Summer goes home here. But Jacey-Lynne did not use the secret power veto, so that twist was a wash. Moose went home in a unanimous vote tonight. And now we are waiting on an endurance competition to see who is going to be the next HOH.
And also, we also have a voting going on for safety. It is the Bel Air safety. And also, I just want to point out, the previous winner of the safety, which is Marty, is not eligible for this. So Marty is not eligible. So Betty.
Why is he not eligible?
Because he won it. Because he's won it already.
Because he won last safety. When people saw that, people are like, "Oh my God, did Marty win HOH?" But it said the previous winner cannot be eligible. So I think we're kind of fine,
I like that they're doing that.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah. Yes. So basically, whoever wins this Bel Air insurance basically gets insurance in the house for a week.
I'm sorry. Can we just? I know this is why everything is free in Canada on this show, because they have to advertise the shit out of everything. We got Wendy's, we got Bel Air insurance, we got Expedia's, we got Air Expedia. Everything, just everything is an advertisement.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But if that's
even
how they stay
HOH,
on air,
they wear that outfit like they get a jogging suit and shoes.
Well, here's the thing: if these advertisers are the reason that BB Can stays on air, I will gladly take all of these Wendy meals.
Oh, completely.
Just keep giving me BB Can is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So lots of unknown heading into this show tonight for us. We don't know who is going to win safety. We don't know who is going to win HOH, but we do know that next week is a triple eviction. So lots of speculation for us to get into here.
I really feel like whoever wins HOH tonight will be the first to go.
We'll set the tone
in the triple.
We'll set the tone for the
And
rest
this
of
is
the
a
triple.
really very scary outgoing HOH going into the triple, like not being able to protect yourself in that way. So whoever wins this tonight better have their bases covered, like going into next week. Is all I'm gonna say, because I haven't heard too much speculation on the feeds or anything. I don't think that they think that a triple is coming. Like
sorry. Well,
go ahead, Adrian.
I feel like they mentioned triple like once, but like I feel like they kept expecting a double over a triple. So like maybe that's why like people in the house guests aren't mentioning a triple eviction enough. So
maybe, but like at least they're like thinking of a double, but they're like not thinking of a triple at all. But okay, so let's get into it here, because I gotta say, guys, I'm so done with Summer in this game. Like I'm ready to compare her to Derek F. Is like the level of like how frustrated I am with her. They have a lot more. I was thinking about this like while I was in my spin class this evening. I was thinking about this. Summer and Derek F actually have a lot in common. Like they rely totally on their social game. They think that they're a lot more charismatic and funny than they are, and they're not able to like turn that side of them off and like be like a serious gamer for a second.
Turn it off.
They haven't won any comps. They are playing so passively, it's ridiculous. And I'm just so disappointed in her, guys. Like I don't know how else to say it except like, Summer, I am disappointed in you. Ever since Tanisha left, like her foot has just been totally off the pedal. She's not even in the car. The car is parked in the top of the parking garage, and she is down on the bottom floor just walking around on foot. And it is not working out for her at all. And it's just so frustrating, because like the first half of this game, guys, like she was so good. She was so on it. She was so like, and we saw a little bit of it tonight with like her campaigning to Betty, when Betty was like testing her, like, I don't know if I'm gonna keep you because you weren't sure about keeping me last week. Which, good for you, Betty, for doing that. I'm glad that you did that. You know, put her in the hot seat for putting you in the hot seat last week.
Listen, you know what it comes down to? You need to not only watch how you treat people when they're on the block, watch how you treat them, because you're going to be there eventually, and that person may still be in the house, and that's going to come into play. So you've got to always, in every scenario, watch how you're treating people, because this is what they're going to remember when they're voting.
Yeah. It's crazy. And like so Summer like immediately cracks her in like a joking way. Like she's like, you're not really doing that, right? And like that is what is so like capable in a player in Summer, is like she is able to like get people on her side by like positivity, like telling you the truth, but telling it in a way that's like so ridiculously like Parvati levels of charming. The problem is like she just like doesn't do it anymore. And like the fact that she stayed tonight is for no reason of her own, right? Like we heard like pretty much everybody left in the house being like, Moose is an amazing campaigner, Summer is a terrible campaigner. That conversation with Jacey-Lynne was so awkward. And if Jacey-Lynne is saying in the diary room, wow, that was a bad conversation, like Jacey-Lynne of all people is saying that was a bad conversation on your end, like that's when you have to realize like you are just not playing the game. And I just like, I'm sorry I'm going on a rant here, but I am just so damn disappointed in Summer. I think Betty deserves the win.
At least Summer's more entertaining and likable than Derek F. Like for real.
True.
And at least she's playing the game for once. At least she's playing.
Yeah, I just like I think that Betty deserves the win more at Summer than this.
Yeah,
and that's like really saying something. It's crazy.
I'm tired of people acting like jackasses when they get put on the block. You know, Herman did it, which was funny. And then Summer did it, and it was kind of fun, but it didn't make any damn sense. Like, stop it. Be humble.
Yeah,
Show
just like
show some class. Smacking your ass.
it's just frustrating and like
And also,
yeah, go ahead, Adrian.
I also want to add, like, Summer has no one. Like, what? Basically has no one besides maybe Betty and maybe Josh. Like, everything. Summer has no one. So that's honestly why, like, I am voting her to get safety, just so, like, she can wake up and have that motivation. Be like, okay, people in Canada maybe have faith in me, so I'm gonna do it. So if she wins this HOH tonight or not, but, like, we'll see. Like,
Yeah.
I'm still having a glimmer of hope. That glimmer of hope. Like,
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that somebody here like has a glimmer of hope with Summer, because like Adrian, I'm just like I'm so done with it.
Yeah. Also,
And, like,
she
go ahead.
she admitted it that her campaign was bad. She was self-aware that her campaign was bad, at least. Like,
I just like
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get it. Like on the LFC roundtable, like before Tanisha left, like she was getting like 9s and 8s, and like
Yeah.
just like really high
I
scores
was
like
one of
across
those
the board.
people.
And
Like,
it's just like such a decline. Like her decline is like a bigger decline than that slope that they're hanging off tonight. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
just like how bad it is. So I just like, and I want to.
Well, in that case, she should have no problem holding on to it.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, oh, I'm
my
used to
gosh.
this. That's fine.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Okay, so let's talk about
Real quick,
Helena
hello,
next.
Joseph, in the chat.
Oh,
We
yes,
see you.
yes.
Yes, we
yes.
see you.
Hey, Joseph.
let's talk about Betty.
Yeah, let's just like go down the order here, and we'll skip Summer because we talked about her already, and that's pretty much all we have to say about Summer. Adrian, what are your thoughts on Betty this week and heading into next week?
Between like her, like, people with, like, out of Betty, Summer, and Josh, I feel like Betty might have a better shot, better than Josh, in my opinion, because she's starting to get the game going. Like, she has some, week by week, she has some really good reads on the house and stuff. Like, and the people that she's targeting, those are the right people that she can target. Like, with the showmance, Marty. Even though, like, I think Kevin should have been one of her targets, I feel like the game that she's playing right now, I feel like she's getting a good grip to it because of her alliance with her, like, close relationship with Josh is what benefiting her this week.
Yeah,
So
I totally agree with that. Like, I think that Betty is really coming into her own as a player, and I think that Josh is kind of like bringing that out in her. I really like their one-on-one conversations because like they have a really good pulse of like the remaining like optics of the house, the remaining like groups of people and stuff. And I'm glad that Betty realizes, because I feel like Betty could have easily been just like a loyal soldier for Summer and play second fiddle, play like a more passive game to like whatever Summer wants. But as soon as she saw like a little kink in the armor of trust, like Betty hopped ship over to Josh, who is treating her a lot better as an ally, as a friend, and somebody who's feeding her information. And Josh has way more information about the house than Summer has and will ever have. So I think Betty is really on the up and up here. I don't know.
Yeah.
Could Betty win the season? I don't know.
She could be a Paris where she can come out of nowhere and, like,
She could.
She starts winning comps. She could be that player.
I don't see her winning a lot of comps, but I see her. Man, I'm just gonna say it. I think she's going in the triple.
I could easily see that. Like I could see her being like a collateral damage for like the fallout of that. Totally.
Yeah. Next Helena next. I don't really. She's really flourishing now. It's kind of been waiting in the. Okay, this is where I've been waiting in the wings comes into play, and I've been throwing comps. No, you haven't. You ain't done shit. Own it. I would sit in the diary room and go, you know what? I haven't done shit. I've been sitting here doing nothing. And now I'm going to start doing something because now people are going to start noticing I haven't done nothing. So I got to start doing something. And I'm just winning by the luck of Jesus. So let's go, God. You know,
Well,
that's
I
it.
think
She's going
I
in the
think
triple.
Helena must have listened to my weekly meltdown last week because I said on the show she hasn't won a comp. I'm losing faith in her. And she did a really good job this week. Like she secured Marty as an ally. Like I loved that she went to Marty. Like not only did she win the veto this week, which was badass and awesome, but she went to Marty after she got the veto, and she told him that Gino wanted to backdoor him. So in the event that like Marty wins HOH tonight, Marty's going for Gino and Jacey-Lynne now, and not Helena.
Good.
And like it's one thing to like to prove your trust with words, but it's another to like to be able to back that up with action. So like for her to like tell Marty that like Gino's wanted to backdoor him this week, and then say I am going to be the reason that doesn't happen because I'm not going to use the veto and save your life in this game. I think that's really going to benefit Marty and kind of like position her above like Kevin and Josh. You know what I mean? Like like there's more like concrete like loyalty there in Marty's eyes from Helena, which I think is a very good and powerful thing for her in the game moving forward. What do you think, Adrian?
I just want to say, like, I'm kind of a little bit mixed on Helena's gameplay. Like, I respect like the whole RHAP floater game. The only problem is like Helena has that like moral compass of like, oh, like I don't want to be around. Like, I want to do this for like the women of color. Like, oh no, I don't want to be like. She has that like shy, still have that shyness to her. Like, even though she's playing the RHAP floater game like almost perfectly, I just feel like that moral compass is kind of going to be a little bit of a downfall when she tries to like explain her case. But I'm happy that she finally won a comp, and I feel like her not using it was a good move for her game because I feel like she needs Marty for her and Kevin's gameplay to like move forward and stuff. So the internet has also been on her neck this season because of how she's playing basically. So,
it's like if you're playing like the RHAP floater game, right? Like you have to know and be very sensitive to like when is that time to like really turn it on, and that's how you get the difference between like an Azza and a Derek F compared to like a Paris who had like a really strong floater game, and then like towards the end of the season really just like turned it on.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping for Helena's sake that this is the start of that. That could be really fun to see, especially if she does beat Kevin doing all of this. It would be a very impressive win.
She just needs to own it. She needs to own, like, yes, I've been playing this RHAP floater game. Like, the information you've been giving me, I've been telling it to the other side. That's what helped me throughout this game. That's what she should say if she makes it to those final two chairs. So, yeah, all she has to do is just own her gameplay at the end of the day.
Just own it, man. That's what people respect the most. I mean, that's what I'm
totally
saying. Don't sit there and go, oh, I've been laying low. No, you have not. No, you haven't.
And I don't think we're having a better jury this year either. I feel like people would vote for the best player, even if it's like a floater game like Helena. But Allison, tell us how are you feeling about Jacey-Lynne's game after this week?
Oh my god!
I'm so confused, man. It's like you have this power. I'm probably the only one in the room. I'm glad she didn't use it. I don't want Marty to go. I like Marty. I don't want him backdoored. So I'm fine with her not using it. What I don't get is the conversation when she outs herself to Gino now and and then he's like, oh, well, this just brings us closer and we can trust. What? She knew you wanted to backdoor Marty and she didn't use it to get him out. Didn't do what you wanted to do, which to me, I'm fine with that. She's doing what's best for her game. I just don't get, because she's telling the truth. Is that why you guys are close? I'd be pissed.
No, she's doing Smash What's for Gino's game, basically.
Yeah.
I'm basically like Melissa from the round table this week. Like, she could not think for herself. She got this power,
The hell am I?
which is like a golden ticket, like, hey, you need to make this move. And she's like the fan in me is kind of wanting to use it so bad, but like I don't want to use it. I just don't want to get blood in my hands. I'm like,
Why are you
doing?
here?
JC Pennywise, what are you doing? Like, I just
Pennywise.
I can't. Like, I don't care how good of like a push. I can't.
It's just so passive.
my
Like
God.
I just it's so frustrating because like
She's
she
like
had
the
an
yes
opportunity.
girl.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Adrian. Like she is just so passive. I don't like. I think. I mean, like heading into the triple. Let's be real. Like Gino and Jacey-Lynne have the biggest chance of being put up together and voted out together.
Yeah.
Oh, I think one of them's going for sure. Of course.
Yeah, very well could
My
be.
money's
Very
on
well
JC
could be.
Lynn.
Well, one of them really, like, for the sake of everybody else in the house, like, one of them has to go this week. Because, like, if both Gino and Jacey-Lynne are competing in that triple eviction HOH, like, that is, like, so dangerous. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Let's see. So I guess moving on to Gino, I'm kind of like feeling. I just kind of like put him and Jacey-Lynne as like a block together. Ultimately, he didn't get what he wanted to happen this week. So I think like Gino is definitely like the biggest target in the house at this point.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I get where he's going with like I don't want to put up like two of Marty's allies and Kevin and Helena up just so they can't pick Veto. But who cares? Like, just pray that the player POV picks doesn't pick Marty. Like, or just put up like Summer and Helena who haven't been on the block yet. Like,
he should have put up Helena
on two pawns who are guaranteed to vote Marty out this week. And guess what? 4 versus 1, that one person that you don't want to win has won the veto. And then she came and talked to you and basically kind of changed your mind of like, oh, okay, maybe I should target Moose. What? Oh my gosh. Okay, like.
Well, and here's the thing: like, if he put up Helena instead of Moose, Helena would have won the veto. So he could have put up Marty.
Oh my gosh! Like, it's so. This week is. I have not been up with feeds at all this week. I just like go on Twitter time to time just to see if anything happens, and then, like when I saw that the POV players were picked, I was like, oh my gosh, I think we might have a shot. Until the results came in, and I was like,
crazy. That's why, like, I feel like people get a little too cute with these backdoor plans. You know what I mean? Like,
why is it a backdoor all the time? Why does it have to be a backdoor all the time?
Why?
Exactly. Like, not every week has to be this like 6-finger plan to quote like old Big Brother. It doesn't need to be
Gino's
this like
counting.
Yeah, right, exactly. I like just put up Marty, you know, just call it like it is and say good luck, everybody.
Just screw it.
But yeah, so I'm worried about Gino and Jacey-Lynne this week. I think they will be in a lot of trouble, especially if Jacey-Lynne doesn't win HOH. But moving on to Josh. Adrian, it sounds like I'm a little higher on Josh's positioning than you are. Give me the case for Josh. What are you thinking?
I still think Josh could have a shot to win. I'm not saying like, oh, Josh has a 0% chance of winning. My only concern is that he has so much trust in Kevin, so much. Kevin behind the scenes, behind Josh's back, is basically getting his weapons ready to like backstab Josh soon at like final.
That profile picture of his is like so perfect. Like that's what he's thinking about Josh right now. He's like,
yeah. I feel like Kevin is basically. Kevin is Josh's blind spot right now, and I feel like even if there's still time for Josh to basically kind of like find out what Kevin is doing. Like if he decides to win this HOH or not, like he needs to like win a comp or like try to basically caught up on to Kevin, what Kevin is doing in order to have his win
Yeah.
equity be like a little better. So
What
Well,
has Josh won? Has
he
won?
was so close. He's been the Susan Lucci this season. Like
Yeah,
he was
I
so
know
close.
I was about to say, you mentioned that, I think, last week in the chat, and I'm sitting here thinking, man, he hasn't won anything, has he?
Yeah, but I think like to his benefit, he hasn't won anything. Where like, okay, so here's the difference between like him and Helena, and like I think ultimately this is like a male versus female thing in terms of like how people are perceived in Big Brother, of course. But where like Helena kind of like needed a comp win to start like proving herself, proving she's a player, proving she has winner's equity and power and stuff. I feel like everybody all season long has seen Josh as like a very capable winner of a strong player in this game, even though he hasn't won a single thing. Like, yeah, he can come close as much as he wants, but he's never been the one to publicly like show cards, show power, show any kind of.
He's like a vault.
Yeah, but he has used this to his advantage. But Adrian, you're right. Like the only blind spot of his is Kevin, and I kind of hope that like he keeps talking with Betty, and Betty starts realizing like maybe Kevin is the root
and
of
Summer.
all this.
And Summer, hopefully.
Yeah. I think we were saying like before we went live, like I actually don't think it's in Josh's best interest to win this HOH. I think what would be perfect for Josh's
to win the triple
chances moving forward is if Betty wins this HOH and Betty takes the shot at Kevin. I think that would like really open the game for Josh to kind of take over the Kevin spot in terms of manipulation in the house and stuff. And especially with like Marty and the showman still left in the game, like Josh can easily sail under the radar while those people get targeted after Kevin leaves. But so yeah, I just like I want Josh to be leaning into his relationship with Betty a little bit more, and he should, because like he will always beat her in the end. You know what I mean? Like take her all the way is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I feel like the most important like win, like a comp for like Josh to win is either the Final Four HOH or the Final Four Veto. I feel like those are his most important comps to win, in my opinion.
I think I've said this on the show a million times, but I think the most important comp of the whole season is the Final Four Veto. Yes.
Veto.
Yeah. Allison, what are your thoughts on Josh?
Hold on a second. My computer just opened up something weird. See, if he looked like a dog, Tyler, you would be great just because he's so good to look at.
He was the first person I picked in the draft because like I'm under this like same spell that like everybody else in the house is. You know what I mean?
You
like,
know, it's true.
He was the first pick on the audience draft I was in.
Yeah. Listen, he's got the charm, and I really like him. I don't have an issue with him, even though he hasn't won anything. It doesn't matter because Betty hasn't won anything, right? So they're in the same boat.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be something if two people that haven't won shit make it through the triple? I'm for it. I'm for the underdogs who haven't won anything, who are really trying, by the way. There's a world of difference between people who aren't trying and I'm throwing shush your face. No, you're not. But there are people like Betty and Josh who really try. And Kevin even tries. But it really is more, Betty and Josh are really trying. And I would like to see them win an HOH or win a veto or something during the triple next week.
That's a good point.
Also, I also want to add to Tyler's annoyance with Summer. Like, oh my gosh, she could have been in that tiebreaker in this last week's HOH, and she went for the damn half card. Like,
yes.
Oh my god!
See,
after
that's
one question, After one question, girl.
Thank you for bringing that up. So she during the comp, like you could have been tempted with like a have not pass or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But you had to forfeit like a point. This is only in like the second question, and she had one wrong. So she says to the camera, she's like, "Well, I'm 1 point behind, so might as well call me out of this comp. So I'm going for the have not pass." And I'm like, Summer, like you can't like be like throwing these HOH comps. You never know like how the answers are gonna shake out. You can't be like going and getting that have not pass and then saying to that same camera, "Oh yeah, I've been throwing comps all season." Like
you
liar. Have not been throwing comps all season. Like the only person I believe that is throwing comps and like being honest about it in the diary room is Dr. Will. Like pretty much like anybody that like goes on a big losing streak. Every season we see this. Somebody goes on a big losing streak, goes into the diary room, and they're like, "Yeah, I totally threw that. Like I'm playing like such a masterful game." And I'm like, that is so like revisionist history. It's not even funny.
Tyler, you know what I'm gonna do? You know what I'm gonna do? If when I'm 68 and I make it on Big Brother, I'm gonna go because look, I ain't winning shit. We all know it. I just know I'm not. I'm gonna have to. Yes, exactly. I'm gonna have to go on charm alone to make by the skin of my diapers. But I feel like I would go in the diary room just for Tyler, and just say I threw it every time, even though I did. Even though I just lost and I blew it, and it's obvious, and I'm crying. I really want it. I threw it, and all y'all gonna know. Oh, she's so full of crap. You will know. That
thank you, Allison.
I hope I do it all the time.
I hope I can see that someday. Moving on to Kevin. Kevin, of course, is in a great spot.
Has lost weight, by the way.
He's definitely maturing in the Big Brother house in like every way. You know what I mean? Like he's just like really come into his own as a player, as a personality. I think that he is on better terms with Gino and Jacey-Lynne than a lot of people in the house. So I kind of think it's in Kevin's best interest to not really win right now, unless it's like between like him and Betty, right? Like that's like the only situation where I like kind of think like he should take that power instead of her. But even that, like with Marty still in the house, like Betty is not like a genius player. So I feel like Kevin could easily convince Betty to like put up Marty or put up the showmans. Like
definitely
there's still a lot of room there. You know what I mean? Some people are playing checkers, some people are playing chess in the house. Like you have to like realize
some people are playing Connect 4. I mean, you don't know.
Exactly.
With the
but
checkers.
Adrian, what are you thinking about Kevin these days?
Yeah, I said this like during the watch party. Like I have like a love-hate relationship with Kevin. Like I've been enjoying like the gameplay he's been doing. Like he exceeded my expectations once the season started after the preseason. Like you guys, I said this on the draft like analysis. I like, oh my god, Kevin's strategy going in was doing too much. Like he's gonna be an easy first out, but once he started like that gameplay like in the house, he's been really like doing really well with like forming social bonds, making good like strategic like moves behind the scenes. Like him like getting Marty to flip like his vote to vote out Steph during that week, I think is one of his best moves. And him controlling Jess's HOH was also a really good thing for Kevin. So like Kevin is like, honestly, if I had to pick out the best player, I think it would be him. Like, I feel like this is Kevin's game to lose. Like,
it is.
I feel like the only problem is that like Herman said this in his exit interview is that like, for Kevin, like if he gets to like the finals or something, like he says like, I don't know if he would vote for Kevin. Like it's kind of basically saying like, oh, like even if Kevin explained those moves, they're basically saying like, no, you did not. They'll basically kind of like undermine like his strategic moves. If Kevin can start like explain really well to the jury, like, hey, I made this move, I made this move, I made this move, that could get him the win. If he can like really like do much harder work and he's been doing really well for jury management, even
Yeah.
before they announced jury. So that's my take on Kevin. So
Yeah. What are you thinking, Allison? How
I
are you feeling
think
about Kevin?
I like Kevin. I think he has shown a lot of maturity because he kind of came in the game one way, and then now we're seeing him like he's the kind of person like we are. Like when I go in the Big Brother house, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that and da da da, and then you get in there and you're kind of like you're trying. Man, I got to bring it down. I got to do this and that, and he's planting those seeds, and that is exactly what I would do. You can plant those seeds and bring that up in your jury speech because then people can't deny it. Oh, yeah, we did have that conversation. Yeah, you did put that in there. So I like the way he's doing that. I really don't, from what I can see as a casual, I don't hear his name very often.
I also feel like he's probably like the safest person going into this triple, which is insane because he's like playing the best game right now. You know what I mean? Like
he's had individual conversations with every single one of these people. I'm not really sure about Jacey-Lynne and Gino, but he did tell Gino.
I think he has a good like working relationship.
He has a good working relationship, not really a personal one-on-one, but a good working relationship is still a relationship. And he did tell them Marty is a shield for us. We need to keep him in here.
Yeah.
So that's one thing.
And I also feel like when the triple happens, like I feel like a lot of people will see a lot of the players going to Kevin and being like, oh, what do we do? Where should we vote? You know what I mean? Like,
that's what I was thinking just now.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'll get things for Kevin. And I don't think like Moose leaving this week was anything bad for his game. I don't think it was pretty like irrelevant for like everybody's games to sorry Moose. Like I don't think like your piece of the puzzle was really that important like after Herman left, you know.
It is what it is.
And then Marty just continues to be this enigma.
He didn't use the super secret power of veto.
Yes, the veto that he did not win. But Marty's just gonna Marty. Like, there's no way he's winning the game. It's just like so bizarre to me, like how he hasn't left yet. He just like keeps getting by the skin of his teeth and winning these like very crucial comps and everything. So I don't know. I don't really see him winning the game. I think like if Marty stays, it's because he wins a comp. Like, and I think Marty's just kind of like on an island of his own, and probably will be for the rest of the time that he's in the Big Brother house, however long that is. We'll see.
Yeah, for sure.
Pepe Le Pew can just shove his 43-year-old knees up there. Like
what's happening?
That's it. That's all I'm gonna say. Like I can't.
What is this? What's wrong with Pepe Le Pew? Granted, he has stalker restraining order written all over.
No. I have no problem with the animated character. I'm just using that name just to reference this 43-year-old right there. That's why
I'm never gonna get that out of my head now.
Oh, and also Marty's the only one that thinks that Betty won this secret power of veto.
I can't. I just can't. I can't.
How?
Ridiculousness from this.
Shit. How? Tell me, what competition did she win to get the super secret? Nothing. And how the hell did Jacey-Lynne see that little rolled up piece of paper in that effing flower? There's no way. This ain't Survivor. How? I'd have to have y'all would say there's no way I could walk around that Big Brother house and try to find a tiny clue. You'd see Allison with her reader zone up against the wall looking at stuff. Just what is she doing? Oh, Allison's looking for something, but she's trying to act like she's not. We know she's blind as hell. She got them glasses on trying to find a clue. Bitch, get out of here. You know.
So that is that's where we're at for the state of the house and everything. So I'm going to update our draft here, which I kind of spoiled on Survivor last night.
A pretty even playing field.
Allison still has all three.
I put
heading into
zero effort into. Do you understand what I'm saying?
You
When
almost
I-
have half of the house guests left.
All I do, like I could
Yes.
tell you my trick right now. I don't watch any of their videos. I hardly read their bios. I just stare at the cast and I let it come to me. I let it come to me, and then I pick the names. This is it. This is
There
the
you go.
list.
Just
You guys are
manifest
spending
it.
8 hours looking at stuff and just diagramming the head, look at the charts and arrows, and I'm just zenning my way through.
So are you telling me you're doing like the Caitlin Herman approach? You're just like manifesting, right?
Listen, she and I are the same kind of crazy. So why not?
That is
Why not?
true. Can you do a 6-piece puzzle though in under 3 minutes?
I don't know anyone can do a 6-piece puzzle that big in less than 3 months. I don't know how Jacey-Lynne got all 3 of those boxes unlocked and put that veto puzzle to. I am losing my mind. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh my
like,
God, she's running out of time. What is this? What is this? Yeah.
I mean, I like. There's a reason they don't share that stuff on the feeds. Like, I'm sure that like if the timer ran out, like they would like just like add a few more minutes, and like it would be bad TV if she like went in there, lost the comp, and like didn't win this like extra power that could change the game. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
If I were production, I would probably fiddle with that time a little bit. Just
You'd
to make
fiddle?
it seem like more dramatic in the moment. You know what I mean? Like, I have to beat this before the timer, but like, does the timer really ever run out? Probably not.
I can't remember
That's
the
what I think,
last
right?
adult conversation I had where someone used the word fiddle. That wasn't Southern.
Fiddle.
You
Just
fiddling.
fiddling around. But Adrian, do we have any updates from the endurance comp?
Not what I've heard of. I'm just in here giving my girl Summer some safety because she's all alone in this house.
I'm gonna
So,
pull up the Twitter twats and see what they got.
So any like you guys want to place bets on 3 house guests? Who do you guys think is leaving in the triple next week?
I'll tell you right now.
Let me
Bring them back up. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now. My psychic twitching eye is telling me, Betty, Helena, Summer.
So the
With
3
the-
women of color.
Well, I'm not looking at it like that. I'm just looking at it like, those 3, I'm feeling it. And my side note was Marty. He could be in the mixture too. Okay, I'll tell you what. Marty, Summer, and Betty. How about that?
I think it'll be. I agree that Betty could easily go in this triple. I think it could be some combination of Betty, Gino, and Jacey-Lynne. I think that if the Showmance is going in the triple, they're going together. You know what I mean? Like they're just going to be taking down one fell swoop, which actually could work out to Betty's favor, right? Like if Betty's like sitting on the block with Gino and Jacey-Lynne, like she definitely survives that because people are just going to vote out the Showmance. Like why keep them in the game when they're a block of 2? They've been winning so many comps, and Betty's just kind of Betty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Adrian, what do you think?
Well, okay, I'm just gonna like put like a thought process to this before we end this. So I think the 2 safest I feel like are Kevlina for sure, the ghosts, and then out of like the 6, I would say Josh is the 3rd safest, and then okay, I'm gonna say it depends on who wins HOH tonight to see like who like what can lead to like the triples outcome. So I'm gonna say no, I'm just gonna say Gino, Marty, and Summer. That's where I feel like my mind's heading. My opinion.
Man, I'm trolling Twitter right now, and there's no update. I will say there's an awful lot of Kevin is controlling the game, and not a single person is trying to target him. That is so true, because it's like, Tyler, when you said what you said, and I was thinking it, it's like I manifested it to you, which really happens. It is basically they're all going to go to him during the triple. and they're going to ask him, "What do we do? What do we do? What's Kevin?"
I mean,
And
that already
not one of
happened
them will-
during the safety chain. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he was kind of the nucleus of that like group of 5,
Yeah.
right?
They're not going to be able to put 2 and 2. They're going to put 2 and 2 together and get a half because they're doing Gino's mouth. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think that's where we're at for this week. So we shall see who wins HOH, and then what happens with the triple. So a week from now, we'll be back with 3 less people here.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Could be Allison's whole team going.
Wouldn't that be the way
Can you
it goes?
imagine? Can you imagine? Oh my gosh.
This season, I can imagine anything happening.
Yeah.
I'm all high on my victory that's coming, and then all of a sudden I lose all 3
Drop
of
the
them.
0, keep the 1.
Good.
That's what the season.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real. I think that's it. So we'll be back next week to talk all things Survivor 42, of course, and then we'll be back next week after the triple eviction. Maybe we'll do a watch party for that. That sounds really fun to do a watch party live. So I don't know.
That.
Stay tuned. We'll let
We'll
you
see.
know. We'll see. But yeah. All right. Well, everybody have a great rest of your night. Take care, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.